it up after, and I'm like, oh, my keys. uh, yeah, no, I had a few good days with that. It was overtime. Um, yeah, very very important. Let's talk about.
Hi, Will. Where's
Perk.
Dan? Where's Dan? Where's
Guys,
Dan, Will?
I got to come clean.
Let's hear it.
Fucked it up. I ruined the show once again, or I actually really for the first time. We have a lost episode. Welcome to the Caffeinds cast number 10 asterisk. It's your boys, WillProduces in Timeout and Clan Daddy Perk at PerkFGC. We were supposed to have Dan Finity, the amazing community help streamer, and just all around funny, good dude on the show. And what you saw was a clip from the pre-recorded session. My man is live right now.
Play it again for them.
Check this out. There's like a whole.
There's.
I'm just gonna click in the timeline of the
just show everyone what we had. We had an hour and a half of a wonderful, meaningful discussion with Dan Finity, who you're seeing on screen right now. Show them the bar. Show them how much footage we have.
That's an hour and
show them. Just scrub through it. Just scrub through it. Just scrub. Just look at so many. Look at what a great conversation that we had. Look at that. Look at us laughing. Look at that. Look at those natural reactions, and a wonderful conversation that was being had there. That's gone.
And now you're stuck with us.
Yes. So apologies for everybody who was excited for Dan Finity to be on the podcast.
And also apologies to Dan Finity. There's nothing like throwing away an hour and a half talking to idiots like us. So thank you for being on. We hope to have you on again soon. We really appreciated you talking to us. Honestly, one of the best conversations I've ever had about Destiny.
Yeah.
Probably would have been the best episode of the show.
Would have been.
But, I had to step in at the last minute and say, no, we've had it too good. We can't peak just yet. So whenever Dan Finity comes back, that will be the peak of the show. Now, if you are watching for the first time and you're like, damn, these guys made it to 10 episodes. These guys are fucking idiots. I agree. But also, we are the Caffeinds. We're a clan of Destiny 2 players that are super tight-knit. We pretty much hang out every day, and you can join us if you are in need of help with Destiny, or if you're looking for just a bunch of wholesome gamers to play with. !Discord in the chat. I am WillProduces. I am your host. That is our clan leader, PerkFGC. I'm pointing in the wrong direction. It's actually that way.
I'm here.
And what we do at the beginning of the show, instead of admonishing me for my failures, we normally clink coffees. I'm actually low today, so cheers, my man.
Cheers. Got the coffee.
All right.
Chug it up.
So
whatever you need.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the plastic top off this and just take it right to the face. So today, Thursday, August, whatever it is,
27.
August 27th, thank you, was the opening night live video show by Jeff Keighley, which was supposed to take the place of the beginning of Gamescom. Gamescom is Germany's preeminent gaming convention. It is E3 for Europe, essentially. If you've ever been there,
it's pretty tight.
It's really hot. Like the air conditioning is just not sufficient. It's got that nerd smell, which is suboptimal. But lots of great announcements went out there. Not only for Destiny, there was a great animation for WoW that came out. But we are a Destiny podcast, and we are here to talk about Stasis.
We are. What did you think? Because we spoke a little bit about it because we were throwing notes together for this show. What did you actually like? What was your first impression?
Of the trailer or of all the stuff that came out together.
Of the trailer. of that first trailer that, like, when the time slot came up, I know that you had to step away for those exact moments.
Dude, I was pissed.
This has been a day. This has been a 24-hour circuit for you.
The Earth has
what did
rotated once for me. Yes.
it has. It's spun. What did you think? Like, what are your actual feelings? Because
Um,
I know how I feel, but I don't want to jade the conversation. So you go first.
I think the more I learn about Stasis, the more I look back at like our spitballing and I'm like, wait, no, where did that go? Like, I feel like we had some really great ideas for what Stasis was when we were looking at all that stuff.
We did.
And,
we absolutely did.
I think disappointed is a strong word for the way I feel.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm not like, I'm excited still. You know, I'm not over the moon like, oh my god, this is gonna change everything. Well, even though everything will change. But
okay.
Look,
okay.
Sometimes I just say words.
Sometimes words.
Cut me some slack, man.
Sometimes words. You want more? You want more slack? I'm not to give you. Yeah. So, was there anything else, or is that kind of your sentiment? You're kind of like feeling from what you're saying. You're feeling you were more excited about our theories about the whole thing than what it actually was shown in this.
Yeah, I think
like right?
some hesitance has creeped into my feelings.
Okay. All right. That's fair. To be honest, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like getting a second like impression of it. I actually think it looked better than the first trailer. The first trailer that we saw, everything was really like narrow and kind of just like formed. It was just like, here's this, and it was just like ice, and it was just like thrown everywhere. This one, we got to see it got to breathe a little bit. I don't know if you have
totally.
that shot, but there's we're gonna get into it in a minute. But my thing was that it kind of I liked seeing the supers more as I saw them actually animate more fully. Seeing that hunter like throwing knife like bounce around, seeing like the actual the three-pronged pattern for the
Why are you holding a Super Nintendo controller?
It's the thing. I always have something. I'm just always fidgeting. I dropped my dice. I had a dice. I dropped it. You didn't know that? That's my secret. I just always grab something from my desk. I'm always just like clicking the buttons.
My secret is I have the chair that's next to my standing desk for when I try like Autobots roll out this desk into like a sitting desk, and I normally just like transition to like a Captain Morgan pose to feel more confident in myself.
Got it. Okay.
Anyway,
whatever else.
Sometimes you need a little boost. Yeah, no, definitely. We got to see a lot more of the abilities in action. Like you said, at first it was just like ice, ice, baby, and then today it was stop, collaborate, and listen. And Deej was back with a whole new whatever. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's you want to start stepping through the trailer?
Let's step through. Let's go because there's a bunch of thoughts that I have. So let's start with it.
So first of all, the game is rated teen. Not sure if you knew that. I pulled this without. Okay, we're playing. Destiny logo comes out over ice. We see prophecy.
Jumping straight into prophecy. I know you were asking me about this room specifically. Yeah. Like this room actually is in prophecy. That is sometimes, like oftentimes for me, it's if you're unlucky and it's your secondary rotation room. That is part of prophecy. So there's nothing new. They're just showing the Guardians using like the ice abilities in prophecy.
No, not actually.
Go back.
Sorry to say no, but if you look at all of the gear that these players are using, this is all current gear and weapons.
But I thought there was an ice ability right here.
No, what you're looking at is
is it the trace rifle?
It's the new trace rifle. The one that turns people into balls that I can't remember the name of it right now.
Oh, Elegant.
What?
Let that rock.
Okay.
That is, okay, yeah, I saw the animation for it. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, so this is all stuff that's in the game now. It's like narration. This is
story mode. Yeah, this is
the weekly missions. Wow, this is a really bad rip. And then this. What is this?
This looks different. That's the moon in the back. Either that's a moon or a gigantic blight.
I think that this might be teasing either this week or a coming week's story mission interference.
I know that there was a data mined stuff going in there about like another kind of finishing to that story. So like it
That guy
potentially is
got banned. Did you know that?
something. No, geez, I didn't know that. But
Because
I mean,
he was glitching
get it.
into parts of the game with hacks, actually, not actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It wasn't a natural glitch. Got it.
it was not. All right, moving on.
Got it. Got it.
This
This looks more just like that's prophecy.
Yeah, still prophecy. Now we've got contact.
This is contact.
And so here,
They're just showing the staging of that.
This is the first frame of
Presuming that is Europa. There's some city. There's some like broken city, kind of looking like the from D1 on Mars.
Yep.
The red city. I forget. Actually, no. It's what is it called? There's a specific name for it. But anyway, yeah,
Freehold.
Broken buildings.
City of
Freehold. Freehold. So yeah, we're seeing that. We're seeing the pyramid on Europa, and we're seeing what looks like kind of a fallen catch up on the left side of the screen.
It's interesting. It kind of reminds me of Mara's throne in the Reef in D1 because it's like kind of stationary looking. Like it's got this platform that goes out, and I can't tell if it's just a catch on a roof or if that's fallen architecture underneath where that guardian's standing.
Possibly. It could be one or both.
All right, moving forward. Boots. This is the guardian snowshoes that you called out last time, and the stranger.
I love those shoes. I need those.
Some more strangers
vibing. She looks intense. Okay, she's like pissed.
Here, this I want to fucking scroll back. I gotta roll this. Sorry guys. Will ruins it.
Will ruins the show.
If you got the choking emote from my stream, feel free to spam it. Here. All right. So, warlocks. You see, just in like gray underneath the warlock symbol, that is going to be the symbol for the upcoming subclass, which they name later on in this. So, we freeze here.
Big backpacks.
Snowshoes again. Is that a service revolver?
It could be a service revolver. It looks like the standard like D2 hand cannon thing. Let's talk about the backpacks for a second. I know we mentioned these before. What's your over under on if there's actually like some sort of, because we're going to be exploring into Europa, and let's just say, how about this? Let me pitch this and we'll see if I'm right. Instead of multiple zones that we find on patrol, what if we have to set up encampments and kind of like build them, so to speak? You know what I mean?
Love that.
What if we had to take materials, gather some materials around the camp? Maybe it seems like we're going to be hanging out with a stranger. What if she kind of gives us some supplies? Because they've featured those backpacks quite a bit. What if we have to patrol and explore and get into Europa?
Oh, I'd love that.
More stuff in it.
My theory, and it's kind of cynical. I think that's just part of the chest piece.
We could definitely go that way. I'm trying to be hopeful. They've featured it very prominently. The reason that I'm thinking it might be a thing is because all classes have it. Like all the characters seem to do it.
What the heck?
You know what I mean? Like the multiple subclasses seem to have that.
So here for Titan, we're gonna see there's like a little slam, kind of reminiscent of the striker subclasses. Ooh.
A little bit.
Pulled this video from not the most reputable of YouTube downloaders, apparently. Here we go. Front view of the Titan thing. I think what's in the backpack is like a quadruped tripod type thing, but with four legs. That's what it looks like to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like it kind of looks like purposeful. It doesn't just look like gear.
Equipment.
Yeah, like you would also never wear that gear because it kind of widens the character model, like in PvP, for example. You wouldn't want that because if you're peeking a corner, that's going to stick out, and they're going to kind of know exactly where you are.
And something to think about as well. We don't know if this is the season pass like ornament model or if this is the base model for the actual thing. Also, it might not have an ornament thing because it's not seasonal. Like as I was saying that like the moon armor didn't get ornaments. So why would this?
I wish they became ornaments. I hope they do.
So you can see right around here the ice pick for the hunter.
Love the ice pick actually.
Right, let's scroll back just so we can take a look at the Metal Gear here.
Mini Insurrection Prime.
So things to notice. We know that he's got a missile pod launcher. We don't know what these things on the right or left of it do yet, but we know like the move set is like shoot missiles out of the back. This kind of serves the same function to me as a spider tank with like a slimmer form factor.
Yep, slimmer, more agile form factor. Honestly, Gundams. Yes, I see that.
Peter Gundams.
I kind of like that though. Honestly, like the tanks were like the fun. That was like the first boss that you fought in the Destiny 1 alpha and beta.
Right.
So like that public event rather.
So we're still seeing we're seeing dregs here and vandals that in models that are similar to what we have right now, like the mohawk and like the sort of the butt towel for the dregs and the capes for the vandals. I just want to call that out because we have seen other models for these types of enemies, or at least similar types of enemies in past VOD.
Yeah, I think, I mean, as far as those things go, I mean, it generally looks kind of like it's the same thing that we've seen from the dregs. It just more or less looks like it's, just a different, you going kind of like when they went the hive at Mars. Remember those like handful of hive that we were like, ooh, they're ice hive, and there was like 10 of them in that one strike. I'm assuming it's probably going to be something similar to that. I don't want to get adventurous and hope that it's something different, but
so
let's keep going.
In the shot, we're seeing a warlock jump. I want to call out the Titan that we saw the backpack of. We are seeing sort of like how the gun lays across it. So it, and also
look at the warlock. Look at the warlock. It's right up on the right shoulder, or left shoulder rather. See it?
This
right in the back there.
But right there, that's like maybe the sidearm or whatever.
Yeah,
and
the backpack is definitely there.
That is, oof.
There
the
it is.
Warlock is officially the Shade Binder with the text "Fracture with Frost."
Binder full of shaders.
Shader
I like
binder.
it.
Actually, here comes the memes.
Yeah, dude, I like this. I like warlocks using a staff. Honestly, I know there was like some flack about it, but we were talking with Orange, one of our clanmates. I was looking at it where like it kind of reminds me the most of what do you call it? The Nova Warp, just with like some direction to it.
All right, so
we'll see that play out.
We're seeing sort of like an AOE that emits from the staff on. Yeah. So you jump up in the air, you cast it. The staff pulses, and there's an AOE pulse. Here comes a Titan slam as well.
I
melee.
Love it.
Oop, that's a anti-oop. Let's see.
Anti-oop. The melee like hit for the Titan honestly looks super fucking fun. Like right that. So, that's a big vibe for me.
This is the warlock's melee here. You shoot you pull the staff forward, and then we see that AOE from another angle right afterwards.
Yeah.
Bang. Cool. And then we're seeing some PvP stuff. Gunslinger here, shooting at the guy's feet and missing on purpose. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like
and then it finally hits the dude. But
these look fun. I also want to like thank them for going right into it, because a lot of people were like, well, shit, these powers look insane. What are we going to do? Like, all of this stuff looks super overpowered. I wonder how it's going to work in PvP. And Bungie was like, we got you. Here's PvP footage. We've literally, which just sends the message to me of, we see you. We are playing with it in Crucible. Like, we're gonna be addressing some stuff with.
So, do you want to call out here? Watch what happens when the guy dies from the golden gunshot.
Okay.
So here he dies. Okay. Something drops. It explodes, and all of a sudden, here's a stasis field.
Yeah, there's an explosion there. A little AOE.
Other warlock uses a melee and freezes him immediately. Pulls out this cool-looking sniper, which
that looks insane.
That looks like a beloved with fucking ice crystals coming out of it.
It does, and it's got the robes have like the triangles, the gold and purple. It looks like something to do with Callus. So we might be seeing some actual activities, either on the Leviathan to some degree, or maybe we'll find Callus out on Europa, honestly.
Yeah, so just to clarify, it's called the Adored, says Moose, which is...
All right.
That sounds like a menagerie version of Beloved. Which
I was going to say, like,
a
Beloved
menagerie.
and Adored.
Cool. Amazing. So going back to how stasis works, we know someone gets primed with stasis, and then you hit them again with another stasis thing, they freeze. Then you hit them again, and they shatter. So we know that there's like a 3-phase thing here.
Yeah.
So the initial phase was the guy died, and whatever subclass options he has probably procced that field. The melee froze, and we're seeing an easy cleanup headshot from the Adored.
Yeah, and they like shattered too, which is sick. Yeah. So I see Moose in chat talking about pinnacles. That's apparently going to be a pinnacle gun, the Adored.
I mean,
And
it's enough
so
to
that's
honestly
cool.
like to just talk about the grind for this season compared to last season. I don't know what it is. I am literally at the finish line for my first set of Solstice armor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to touch Destiny right now. If I had Adored and that sniper rifle like as a goal, I would be so far in that. Like I wouldn't be like looking at other games right now. I would be so far in it, and I don't know why it is that way.
So yeah, I mean, like I see a lot of us in chat are kind of agreeing with it. Let's take a second on that, honestly. And let's talk about like pinnacle influence in just Destiny, like as a whole, and what that kind of like means to doing the like the whole grind. So Solstice gives us like an armor set that we can quest after. It's great for players like Big Tony, our clanmate, my friend, asked me. He's like, what's the point with Solstice? Like, do I need to do that? Is that something that's going to be like essential? And I was like, no, like, of course, it's not an essential thing. But every summer we have an event, we go and do some shit. We farm like an insane amount of orbs. You know, we do a bunch of activities, things that no one really wants to do in a particular set of time. And we do it to get the armor set and then unlock it so that we can then, keep doing this activity in the EAZ, farm the farm the armor set, because it's just something that if you don't have another good farm for getting gear, like if you don't want to farm umbrals, if you don't want to do anything else, you can farm some gear that way. But realistically, how many people are stepping foot in the EAZ after they've gotten their armor done? I'd love to see, like, there's no quantifiable way to see how many people would go back into the EAZ just for fun.
Right.
But realistically, for Destiny players, we know a lot of players, from hardcore, to casual. No one's really doing it because they're like, you know what I want to relax with? Some EAZ. No, they're going to play Crucible, they're going to play Strikes, or maybe they're going to raid or something like that.
Yeah.
They're going to do the activities that they like. Even I know some of our clanmates actually like Gambit.
Who?
So I just, you know who. There's just like, there's enough stuff in the game that we could do, and they can also pepper in events and make these events more fun and just add like a summer solstice themed version to Gambit. Imagine if they just dropped simply a solstice map into the Gambit rotation that comes up heavily. Same with Crucible and stuff like that. Just like I don't know, a fun version. I know that takes a lot of time to create those assets and everything like that, but so did it to create the EAZ.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think the disconnect for me, like grinding armor versus grinding weapon, is weapons have such a
long-term value,
but a functionality that you can tangibly feel, like it's kinetic, and tactile, even though like you're not holding the actual literal gun. It's like it changes the whole feel of the game. And while armor can do that by like changing, times of like ability recharge.
Literally, armor is cooldown.
Yep.
Armor entirely governs cooldowns and like how quickly your shield comes back, how high you can jump. Very, very little things like that. It's mostly armor is just tied to cooldowns. The thing with armor that we chase is because we have to. It's not like Destiny 1 where the armor had like, just really good looks and there was a different way of acquiring it. In Destiny 2, we don't acquire armor because it's just what we like want to do, or it's because it's just part of an activity. Literally, aside from the Gambit Prime armor set through the Reckoning, armor doesn't do anything. It does things with mods. So we chase the mods because they're part of what armor does. And I know we've gone on these tangents talking about in depth about the armor mods, so I'm going to keep it brief, but that's the kind of the problem. I would rather like, how wouldn't you rather level up? I've been playing a shitload of MMOs and ARPGs recently, so like my brain is now seeing like the light where I'm like, I'd rather just level up my character every season to a new cap, maybe an XP cap with like different armor perks. I'd rather do that than just go and chase armor. Going, oh well, I had really good boots, but now I'm not going to be able to jump the way that I liked because I have to go and redo this whole thing.
Perk, I hate to break it to you, but that's the end game of most MMOs. It's called the gear treadmill.
I understand the gear treadmill, but what I'm saying in Destiny, they've had armor set bonuses in Gambit Prime, and they were beautiful. But they're gone, and the rest of the armor, like Armor 2.0, just falls flat. There's not enough mod slots. Mod slots are just not enough. We need functional, fun mods, and we need that stuff now.
Hell yeah! All right, let's get back into it.
Not to be a commercial, but it's our armor, and we need it now.
Oh my god, my brain wants to continue that jingle, but my mind says. The rest of my body is like, go through this fucking trailer, Will.
There's this.
So we're seeing the Revenant. Yes, this is the Revenant bringing the storm by throwing ice picks at people. So it tosses. That's some artifacting. We see one guy get killed, and on death, there's an AOE that immediately shatters. I think we're fucking also seeing. If I just go back. We're also seeing this purple miasma, which I'm seeing as that stasis field still. So it's like on death. Stasis field.
Out there. I like that. That definitely seems to be a big deal. Look at this. I love this.
So this is the big wall getting blown up.
Look at this. Bush.
We gotta look at the guns. Are these guns that we've noticed before? No.
It's guns. It kind of looks like the on the right side of the screen. It looks like the scout rifle, the one that's been dropping a whole bunch, or the one that dropped from Iron Banner. That kind of same body style and like scope.
And then the one on the left is the weird frame.
Yeah. I love these sights though. Look at these sights, like the nice box. I love a good open sight.
So.
Okay. I sent you a better link version if you want to just pull that up instead. I know we're having trouble with the video.
You know what? I might just do it on YouTube.
Yeah, I sent you the link right in our DM. Because I want to make sure we're getting the shot by shot for it. But that whole wall thing, while you bring that up, I want to talk about this. Because this is something that kind of really spoke to me when I first saw it, and why I was excited. And I was talking to our Discord about it. Crucible, the way that we've been playing it, Crucible and Destiny 2 specifically, and especially since we've kind of made the jump to PC, has been really fast. Like, it is fast. You almost don't have time to think in some situations. You know, when you have a little bit of latency, you're just going to completely lose all of that stuff. So when you have a slowed down Crucible, a lot of things change. The wall mechanics and the stasis abilities kind of both grabbed me, and they looked like something that would slow down the Crucible, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Because like for me, that got me excited because sometimes I know for comp, it just gets a little too hairy, and it becomes too much of just a shit show. There's a map plus a meta combination of weapons and players that really know how to make the most out of it. And it's going to be hard for players that are less experienced to just kind of get in and just learn that, to be honest with you.
Right.
So that's why the slowdown reminds me, it's more reminiscent of a game like, I mean, it's not anything like Counter-Strike, but the slower pace of Counter-Strike, where territory control, AoEs, and things become more of a large part of the game as opposed to a smaller part.
You know what it reminds me of and why I like it? It's a game that was out for the Xbox 360 that was so far ahead of its time called Shadowrun.
Shadowrun, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Okay, so if you're a Halo fan and you were on the MLG circuit, there's this game called Shadowrun. Essentially, it's so close to Destiny. Like, it has blinking. It had it's the Shadowrun like tabletop RPG setting. So you had these like orcs and dwarves and like and human races as a character. You bought guns at the beginning of every round, like Counter-Strike, and each race had an ability. Really ahead of its time. Still an amazing game. You can still play it on Xbox Game Pass or like backwards compatibility. No, Moose, you are not the only one who played that game on the 360. Everyone at the MLG office when I first started working there was like, Shadowrun was actually the game that should have been like the game to play instead of Halo 3.
Wow. Okay, those are bold words because H3 was really popular and still is.
So the more I see skills that like remind me of Shadowrun, the more I'm harken back to that game, the more confident I feel in Destiny's like abilities. Like its PvP was awesome. So we're gonna cut back here. I want to note that this little thing here. This is a stasis grenade that goes out. We're gonna come on. This is the stasis grenade that goes out. Teammate dies.
Yep.
So
shot.
You bounce the shuriken.
The wall, the ricochet, and that grenade is not part of the ricochet. That is the ability. That was the nade that was chucked in there before.
Right.
But he bounced in. So it looks like, honestly, that nade looks sort of like it did. Rewind that 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. That grenade looks like, remember when you go into Prison of Elders, or now it's in that one strike, the little things that bounce up on the floor that create that like cloudy field that slows you down.
Yep, the slow field.
They were even in the intro mission of Destiny 1. That kind of is what this grenade looks like.
Yep.
I'm interested in it. Probably not. I mean, like a much larger AOE than the grenades that the hunters have that completely dim your vision and your radar and everything like that. Those grenades are more impactful, but this AOE looks much larger.
Yeah. So something I want to call out here is the 3-step process of like prime 'em, freeze 'em, shatter 'em. For whatever reason, this goes straight past the middle phase, so they are in the grenade and then they get hit and they die. So
yeah,
I'm thinking that maybe you have a certain amount of time to get out of that grenade just before you freeze in place entirely.
Probably very akin to the little mines that pop up that trap us.
So you've seen those guys die. Here comes
the Titan. Let's go.
Behemoth. This is icy fist. Dude, look at how much this looks like Master Chief's helmet.
It does. It's quite a bit. And there's like that like liquid cooling or heating element, like coil that's on like all the gear, which I love. This definitely looks like it could be a vendor set. It reminds me, honestly, this gear set reminds me a lot of the vendor set that was from Taken King.
Yeah.
Just like cool, jagged vibe.
Here's the super, makes a cone. I want to call out, we did talk to, in Dan Finity's Lost episode, we talked about this texture right here, the resonance of like iron fillings on a thing. And in the past I was like, we don't see that in the stasis things, therefore like what if Eris isn't the stasis person? What if the stranger is? Well, there it is for the first time, really sort of like in plain view.
Yeah, that replica, and to add on to what we were talking about with Dan Affinity, he made a great analogy of relating the darkness powers to like a frequency resonation in order to kind of create that 3D sort of thing. So it was almost like a sound type of ability, which was really cool. But yeah, I love the way that AOE looks. Right, so love the whole thing.
This is the drag getting frozen in midair. No, so this is still the Titan. Basically you create this field. I can't tell if it's a random or if it's patterned. Just wherever something gets hit, it creates like a barrier behind it, so like it can't move.
Kind of a trap.
And then sort of the Superman punch.
Big old
right over the top.
Slam. Yep. This is the similar animation to. I know this is the Hunter, but similar animation to dropping a rally barricade.
This is also a Phoenix dive for Warlocks.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that maybe this is.
Love that.
I'm not so. So this ability, not part of a super.
Yeah.
We know because he's not covered in ice.
Yep.
Also not the melee because the melee is shurikens. This might be the class ability.
Very well could be, which is something that I was really, really, really hoping for.
Take dodge off Hunters. 2020, yes, the perk campaign. All right, here's something very special for my fellow Warlocks. The dude pops a rift. Look at all these dregs as they enter the rift.
They get freezy. They get freezy,
frosty.
real freezy. So yeah, like it looks awesome. I love the ice spec slam down. Honestly.
So wait, maybe these are all the class abilities.
So it looks like it might be a little something different for the Hunter then, because the Hunter doesn't have anything that slams the ground, does it? Currently?
No, not currently, not in as of literally right now. But what I'm saying is that means the Superman punch is a class ability.
It could be because if you think about it, like it looked like they actually cut the shot.
Mhm.
It looked very akin to on the ballistic missile middle tree striker titan. The I forget the actual name of it. I think it's like seismic strike or something like that. It's when you have sprint energy, you jump into the air, hit the melee button, and do the mini slam, like the mini fist of havoc.
Mhm.
That like the directional version, which was a subclass choice in D1, but they
And
kind of made it into like a mini class. It's not quite a class ability, but it's a charged melee ability.
right,
So
but I do want to
possible.
call out we don't see any barricades.
No, there's no
So
barricade so far. So I would love for that to take the place of it. Absolutely.
here
Give
we're
me
seeing the
more
slide.
forward.
What if okay? What if Superman punch is a charged melee ability, but what if you had a sprint charged class ability and that's this slide?
I would love it. I've been asking for a sprinting class ability for the Titans forever. I've always thought that they should have more than what Fista like. Shoulder charge is great for PvP because it tracks very well. It compensates for lag, and it's your one shot ability. In PvE though, I would love to have some utility in being able to charge in a direction and do some AOE. I would love that. Titans don't really have a way to do uh, AOE outside of their supers, um, so it would
Yeah,
be great to see
seeing
that.
seeing some KK sliding. Come in
Yeah.
here with a guitar.
Dude, I'm down for it. I'm
Europa.
down for it.
Here's a
I love
roaming super.
icy lookingness. Like the textures that are on. Like normally for supers, we're used to just seeing like that standard glow that we've seen from roaming supers
Okay.
since D1. This texturing is so much cooler. Like I love how that looks on the actual character model. Here they are on the
Yep.
after this clip. You'll see them
Playing
on the
playing at half speed now, so we can.
yeah. So they're gonna be they're on the Shores of Time PvP map. That's B flag. Warlock's jumping out with some sort of missile launcher, by the way. And
It's a no.
it's got
It's a grenade.
but it's got the glow on it that it might. Okay, no, you're right. That is a grenade launcher. I'm sorry. It looked like the glint of a sniper, which I thought was an indication of an air
Got
weapon.
kind of an arc.
Yeah,
But I'm wondering what if they're making more grenade launchers that have micro missile? That'd be cool.
that's possible.
But
Make 'em
so
ahead.
the first guy dies. Normally, this guy would get
Yep.
hit by splash. I don't think he did. So the grenade makes a big wall
Walled up, made him look, and you could see
right
the other
over the
player
top,
starting to destroy the wall as well. Looks like it went down pretty quickly, and there he's doing the slam.
and
That
then
just looks so freaking fun.
so the slam primes everyone. And
Mhm.
like I said earlier, for some reason these walls appear, right where someone gets hit by ice. The Warlock super comes in for the finisher, does the AOE pulse, and
Yep.
shatters everyone.
Love it. And
Here's-
there's 6. Okay, so there's 2. I wonder if those are kind of like the Night Stalker blades. He's grabbing them as if he's got, the 2 blades in hand, like he does.
Yep, he's about to climb a mountain.
Yeah.
So there's more AOE
I
pulse.
That looks so cool.
The fist.
Big icy fist.
Power takes a new form. All 3 supers. You see what we can assume is Aramis, who has one glowing eye, and then
That's very
an eye
anime.
patch.
Yeah. Very anime. I guess
Kind
we
of
got
reminds me of like a Star Wars poster with like
is
pyramid
that
in the background.
Saturn underneath? Like behind the pyramid, or is it Jupiter? That looks like Jupiter.
It's whatever planet Europa orbits.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it looks cool. I like the way the armor looks. I like the whole marketing for it. It looks tight. I guess honestly, the hardest part with the whole thing is really just waiting until November 10th, knowing that at this point, we kind of would be gearing up. This is August 27th. Realistically, it would be like 2 weeks until we'd have 2 weeks from today. It would have been out, or less than 2 weeks from today. It was supposed to be September 8th, I think, which would have been Tuesday, the 8th. So yeah, the hard part is waiting another 2 months for the game, the expansion to come out. So yeah.
Yeah, so I do have some more footage.
Okay.
That there is no YouTube link for.
Beautiful.
But this is the.
This is a shot we've seen before.
So this is the B-roll that has been flying around Discord. We've
Yes.
done a lot of the shot by shot analysis, but there's a little more extra stuff here. So Also, the audio is hilarious. It's like that the trailer for The Mummy that IMAX leaked by accident that
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah,
any
yeah.
of the audio, like the podcast we recorded yesterday.
Yep.
So here we see this catch. It's just like sound effects. We've seen this. We went over this. But here, I wonder if I can do like a playback speed. Oh, yeah, here. Speed.
You got it.
Slower.
Production. Okay, so there's the Titan Slam.
Is that...
That little...
what is this?
That kind of looked like a slam. Play that again.
So, I think it's the Hunter.
It could be. If it's the Hunter, then it's the Ice Fish.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the map up top. So we know that the Warlocks have the map on top of the backpack, and the Titans have the fucking tripod +1. This has got to be the Hunter ability.
Yeah.
There's a nade. A wall nade. Is this Trinity Ghoul with a new skin?
Looks like it. Honestly, there looks like a single arrow on there instead of the triple. That might be a new type of bow. I'm thinking that might just be like a legendary.
Oh wait, no, that's the like the red and blue frame stuff that we've been seeing.
Okay.
But we're seeing Nova Bomb being used to shatter. This is the clip that we just saw.
I like it. AoE. Ooh, that looks like a big, long, like freeze from a distance.
The range is wild and sliding. Some walking through the Pyramidian type thing that we saw earlier.
Definitely.
This is something we haven't seen yet. Look at that gun.
Yeah. This is new footage. Yeah. Oh, that's No Time to Explain.
Yep. And
that
some Vex.
Yep. See some harpies in there. Some stalactites and stalagmites.
Some Fallen inside some Vex. It's
a large facility.
Let's scoot back just a little bit. I forgot I have to use my fucking mouse. Let's examine the guns on these guys. Looks like an auto rifle here. Can't tell what this is slung on the back.
We have some still shots of some of the guns too, which I want to go over.
Yes.
So yeah, we got those running in. That architecture looks very interesting. It doesn't really look.
Oh, it's this shot. It's the opposite angle of this.
Got it. We haven't seen that side before.
Yeah.
Don't believe.
So it's the Vex architecture with Fallen coming in. Something interesting to note is this gun and that grenade launcher have that same sort of side panel that has some sort of layout on it, like the fucking motion detector from Alien.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna see the jump up.
Jumps. Shot. Slam the cone. Here is that spear. Looks like a spear. You see them lunge into the air with the spear.
Let me turn this down. Sorry.
But not actually seeing like what it actually is doing. So kind of interesting.
So we just saw Stasis bring people out of Invis. Before getting shattered. There's some more Europa.
Nice shot of Europa. Nice little icy storm. Look at that cave. That is cool.
This up here, I think that's a person. Looks like in some stuff.
Yeah,
on that ridge.
It could be a ship on there. Could be the catch that we see. Yeah, you can nuke the audio on the clip.
Yeah.
By the way.
It's down.
There you go. But this cave looks beautiful, honestly. Like it's that, like
way better than the Mars caves.
And notice this too. This cave looks like it was carved out kind of by humans, or something. Not quite. It looks like a scooping machine, like an ice cream scoop. You know what I mean? Like those little divots in there. It's not like machined through like the Vex or anything would.
So we saw
it looks like it could be something.
Yeah, we saw this earlier as well.
Yeah, this fallen-looking city, which is like color tone and like everything completely opposite of what we've seen in the caves and in the color depths of Europa with all the blues and the pinks. And this was like very like green and yellow and like desaturated. And then this is like super bright red. So a lot of they're using like Bungie's use of color is always fantastic.
Okay, so this is actual gameplay.
Big ol' slam down. That's some sort of Vex facility.
So it's called
crystalline plating.
Yep, Glacial Quake is the name of the super.
That could be a different player. Glacial Quake might be the Titan, because that would be an ally.
Yeah. Well, this guy's super is going down, but you gotta notice the barricade icon's still on the HUD.
It is. It is. It's just different looking. So or actually, no. They just swapped the spot. Yeah. Okay. So the barricade is there. I think it might be the melee, dude. I think it might be the melee instead of like a shoulder charge. I think we might have something like that. I love this. I like imagine a Titan playing a little bit of support and just slam, 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 and letting your teammates just like grab the AOE, kind of almost like how hunters do it with the tether.
Yo,
Just like
what
set it
if?
up,
Hold
give
up.
them like the twofer.
What if the barricade ability is a grenade, like a tossable, that makes that high wall?
I would like it. It would be so much more fun than the way barricades work now. So I'm all in.
Because I don't like the
I
grenade
like.
slot looks like a smoke type thing.
And there's a new color for the subclass. They've I forget what patch it was, but Destiny 2 started color coding subclasses with their glowing effects. So like Solar is orange, and Arc is like light blue. This is a dark blue color, which I noticed.
Also, just like the jetpack is kind of like crazy high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're seeing the
Yeah, might
super
be
being
something.
used.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Here comes the Warlock super. Hopefully, we get some gameplay.
Look at that charge forward.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's shooting out. So he shoots out multiple like
yeah.
ice balls.
This I think is the melee. Like I said,
Looks like it. It's awesome.
could also be like the R2 R1 abilities.
Yeah.
I've forgotten about that.
There's that looked like how Hammy works, honestly, like that forward projectile that like rotates.
Okay, hold on. You see this little twister here? It's like
Yeah.
a sunspot, but for stasis.
It's a stasis spot. Yeah, it absolutely looks the same cone, same animation.
Here's some. It's silence and squall. And Shuriken has two charges, like we've seen. There's still a dodge, but we don't know. But we don't know what that dodge does. Maybe it's in progress.
All right, that's a finisher. Okay, so that confirms that. That looked like it was another move in the thing, but it's just
so. I think the two ice picks have names, and one is silence and one is squall.
That's kind of cool. A look at that ricochet. That was awesome. Look at that bounce, bounce, bounce. It looked like there was.
That's the nade. The wall is the nade.
Okay, cool. All right. Looks good so far. Yeah, that's thrown out of the left hand. The melees are out of the right hand. Left hand is grenades. Cool. And this is more of the same footage that we saw. I just love those particles. Like, love that design.
If you're wondering where we got this, so am I. Shout out to Coffee Hazard who found it in someone's Discord, I think, or on Reddit.
Dan also, we have to give Dan credit. He got the TWAB link to us a minute before our bot did. That's
so here's some more stasis.
That's value.
Leading to the pyramid, and that's that.
I liked it. It looked good. Definitely more stuff than we got at Gamescom, which I always wondered like how that works. Like, why do they put out other promotional material to supplement it? Like, why not just put out like one drop of the whole thing? But still great to see.
Yep. Give me 1 second to pull up these tweets.
Yeah, grab the tweets. There's a couple of images and stuff. I think. So now we've got a little bit more of an assurance that it is not a replacement of class abilities, which I guess I'm okay with. I guess I'm less surprised by that, and I was sort of hopeful that we'd see some more stuff going on with it. But it's good. It's nice rendered.
This is a good rendering of the armor.
See a lot of light there, yeah.
We're seeing the sidearm, I think, or maybe that cannon.
That Titan screams. What's his face? The guy that created Deadpool and Cable, Rob Liefeld.
Rob Liefeld.
That is Rob Liefeld.
His chest is way too small.
Well, yes, but pouches on pouches on pouches though, like it's got the vibe right in there. Yeah, no, the chest is way too correct.
Anyway,
way too correct.
So, more of these Europa weapons. We didn't really get to see much of them in use, which is what I was hoping we would see some stasis elemental weapons and how they interact with stasis fields. If they do,
keeping that honestly, I feel like for an exotic like that, they want to be keeping this. Love the like the red and blue, like very much like the emergency like recon crew, like for the mountain areas and stuff like that, like bright colors that can be quickly and easily seen against the backdrop as
with
kind of like their motif.
Ski lift stickers in the rocket launcher.
Yeah. I like this kind of raw mechanical, like actual Like, we always bounce back and forth between like magical guns and like more realistic guns.
It's just like it looks like you could buy this at like an EMS or an REI. Like it
Right, yeah.
looks
These
more
look,
like a hatchet than it does a gun.
yeah, these look like real weapons that you might see in the future, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to like I love that. I guess that's the scout rifle on the top left there.
Yeah,
That thing it looks quite nice.
what
I
eludes
like it.
me because this looks like the AR. What is this
Mhm.
in the bottom?
So I'm actually looking at it. That might be the scout, and the top left is probably the pulse. The more that I look at both of them,
Could be.
the bottom right is probably the scout, if I had to guess.
I was hoping that this would be like a. Oh, you know what this is? This is a shotgun.
Nah, you think so?
Look at
I mean,
look at where my mouse is. It's got
bottom piece.
it has a slide, and it
Yeah.
has like a place to put in slugs.
Okay.
I was hoping this would
It's
be a trace rifle. Was that?
cool looking either way.
Mhm.
I feel like trace rifles are so unique that they still don't know how to handle them as legendary weapons, which is why we haven't really seen them yet.
We have fusions.
Yeah, I know. I think like fusions and linear fusions really need to become like one thing and just like have like become different archetypes of the same type of thing. This way we don't have to deal with different ammo, reloadability stuff. Like put them in the same category. Honestly,
Right.
it would be better for them.
So we're seeing this sort of like lab thing. We'll see in more detail in a second. Just more of the
Looks like the
Guardians.
interior.
Yep.
This looks like where we hang out, like our hub spot. It's a different armor set, isn't it? No. That's just a rendered version featuring the hunter.
Mm-hmm. I think this
Yeah.
is. Dude, I cannot tell if it's the hand cannon or the.
It's hand cannon or a sidearm. I don't know which one it's gonna be.
So this is what I was talking about, though. This is the the other view of that. This is the inside of the sort of domed circular building that we saw the Darkness Trinity hang out in front of. This thing here in the center kind of has these triangular inputs as if they were like a bank. I think maybe the Drifter might live here because it's kind of dirty looking.
Drifty might be there. That's possible. Realistically, I'm hoping we see all of the NPCs together so that we don't have to be like running around like different areas, like trying different stuff. And that's
the external.
Exterior.
Yep.
Who's that there? Is that Eris on the ground kneeling?
Yeah.
On the right side?
It's Eris the Rock. There's some lawn chairs here, which I think is fucking hilarious.
It's because like you're in like freaking like 4 feet of snow.
And they've got a fire.
I like it.
And here's the Guardians.
City.
So here's the thing. We're looking at this. This is not a catch on the right side. This is like Jabba the Hutt's palace looking type shit.
There's some struts coming out to create a balcony and like an outcropping, and there's some other like spire kind of fragments and stuff. This everything that I'm seeing from this now that I'm getting this other angle, I am sort of wondering if either Europa is going to be split, kind of like how the Dreaming City and the Tangled Shore together were like two different locations of the same like drop of like, hey guys, here's the expansion, here's where you're going for the expansion, or how they're going to kind of like approach that and do that whole thing. But definitely looks like we're going to see some duality between locations, which I'm excited for. The more places that we go is honestly more fun, and we're losing some stuff. So Europa's got to be huge to make up for the patrol zones that we're kind of losing. Or if they're not huge, I just want them to be fun. I want the lost textures to be fun. I want them to just be, please, just I'm ready for fun.
So I do want to, because we're never going to get this episode back, I do want to talk about something that Dan Fandy brought up about the content vault. And we talked about the content vault with him at length.
Yeah.
But there was an Aztecross video in which our boy Aztecross may have broken NDA about a meeting with Luke Smith that lasted allegedly like 8 hours with creators. And
also would love to spend 8 hours chatting with Luke Smith, to be honest with you. It sounds like just like a blast in general.
He's seems like a fun dude. But in this meeting, basically, Luke Smith asked the top tier content creators, like, what do you want? Why would you want a Destiny 3? Or what would you want in a Destiny 3? And they wanted the content that we have, but retooled to work better. We're still dealing with a lot of stuff that is from last gen systems or current gen, because PS5 and Xbox Series One X are not out yet. And the answer Luke Smith gave was like, well, that's sort of what we're trying to do with Destiny Content Vault. We can vault it, work on these things piecemeal, and then move them back into the game. So that it's like when something gets vaulted, it's not like the Disney vault where you never see it again until it's going to make them some money. It is going to be like, hey, we're working on this. We need this content to exist because Destiny needs to have content, but it also needs to function better. Like how like Leviathan has been out since launch, and the Gauntlet still lags, and enemies still just fly all over the place and rubber band. Now there's a chance for like that to get worked on, and like that made me super hopeful.
Yeah, that's honestly like that's a great thing that I was excited to hear. That is that like, hey, maybe they're gonna take some stuff away and just bring it out in a better fashion when it's time for it to come out of the vault. So it's one of those things where I'd really hope it's right. We have to kind of take it as just theory until we kind of unfortunately like see the proof of it. But yeah, it looks awesome. I'm excited for that kind of stuff. All of that sounds great.
I have a
I guess
question
my
for
own.
you, though.
God, yeah.
Now that we've been through all this trailer, both
Mhm.
the B-roll and these photos, what is it that has changed your feelings about Stasis from hopeful in the beginning to maybe just a little less so?
So when we first saw it in the beginning, I mean, everything's always great when it starts, just because like, you have such an opportunity for like you could just theory craft,
Right.
and that's just fun to do when you're theory crafting and you're doing all that shit, because like the possibility, like sometimes it's like the anticipation of Christmas is sometimes better than Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's always going to be a thing. I honestly, I don't know. It's sort of everything like this gets matched up to um when the Taken King gave us the element for each character that we're missing. Because for those of you who don't know who didn't play D1, not every class could do all three elements when the game started. For the first year of the game, there was not. Like if you were a Titan, you could only do Void and Arc. If you were a Hunter, you could only do Solar and Arc. If you're a Warlock, you could only do Void and Solar. They didn't add the three. They kind of saved those classes or the concepts for them, and they were added a year later in the Taken King when the large expansion came out. So with anything like that, you're going to be measuring up the performance of how that was received and how that went with everybody. So for Stasis, as somebody who loves ice abilities in games and everything like that, it looks good. Like it looks good.
Is it your
I'm
favorite
excited for it.
Gatorade flavor?
Ice. I do like ice. I like blue. I also like me some red. But the thing that I feel about it is ultimately when the Taken King dropped and they brought in hammers, Stormcaller, and the tether for hunters, those all kind of fundamentally changed the playstyle of the characters individually. Like Warlock now had a really long range roaming super. Hunters now had like a support ability in the tether, and Titans actually had a sort of ranged like shooting skill shot super, because we
Right.
only had really bubble and slam before, so they weren't really skill shots. um so they fundamentally changed how the characters behaved, how you did all that stuff. I see Stasis sort of changing. I honestly see Stasis, and I hope I'm wrong about this, less changing the functionality and the way that we can use the characters. And it seems to be that they're more building Stasis to function inside the environment that they have created for Stasis to be born into, which is exploring Europa. I see a lot more of the exploratory uses for it, and the like wall defense uses, as opposed to changing the functionality. Because here's the thing with walls and stuff like that, and the way that it works in Destiny. Imagine any raid encounter that you've done so far. Would a wall really do anything different than you're already doing? think of the vault of glass when you're holding down the plates while your allies are either sent to the past or to the future to go and cleanse and kill the oracles to come out and then use the light to DPS Atheon. When you're doing that encounter, what are you doing on those plates? You're holding down a territory and you're just making sure no ads overtake it and kill you and wipe it. What would a wall do? Just basically help you shoot like easier, maybe?
I think it would.
Still
So
doesn't change
specifically
mechanics.
for that, if I'm holding down a plate, then that encounter, I'm gonna wall off one of the
You're gonna wall off a door.
yeah, wall off a door, and I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it for like 20 seconds. There's a crazy amount of lightning happening right outside my window, and I think the building across the street from me just got struck. So if I go
Sick.
out,
You'll have we'll have lost we'll have lost
it's just
podcast
the
number.
perfect bow to put on this fucking
It
episode.
really would, honestly. I'll that'll be great.
Yeah.
But no, like I think the whole thing with that is like I'm thinking even about King's Fall.
Mhm.
What would I do with a wall? Would it stop me from having to DPS the ogres before they move the bombs? Not really. It might help a little bit of keeping them in place so that like I can kind of clutch something, but it's not fundamentally changing an encounter. So realistically, the one thing that we've seen, where we've rather not seen a lot of in Destiny, is crowd control. Pretty much we have tether. Like that's it. Our biggest other crowd control thing was from Destiny 1 that was way more impactful in D1, which was the Helm of Saint 14, because you were constantly being mobbed. So crowd controlling the immediate area around you was helpful. Crowd control doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really have a place yet in
Mhm.
Destiny and like kind of this newer landscape that they've been kind of going with. So it's been kind of weird. So looking at Stasis and kind of boiling it down, it looks fun. Like I'm for sure excited for that Titan Slam and stuff like that. But I think ultimately it's not changing the way that we're going to play our characters. We're still going to go in and we're going to do the same stuff. You know what I
So
mean? And not that that's bad, but like I just think that that's ultimately something that I really hope I'm pleasantly surprised with. But it's
right.
something that, as opposed to being really, really, really excited for the subclasses in Taken King, I'm more like, cool. Like, to quote, I see that Dan's here. To quote Dan, neat. You know what I mean? Nothing
Yeah.
insane.
Neat.
It's not like crazy. It doesn't change anything. That's my
So I have had a slight Guild Wars 2 addiction recently.
it ramped up like super bad.
Yeah,
You
no,
were playing Final and you're like, yeah, I transferred characters to be the server. I was like, oh shit, nice. And you're like, I'm playing Guild Wars. You're like, what's your? You can buy Guild Wars. The whole thing is this. You gotta buy it. You gotta stop what you're doing. You gotta buy it.
yeah, honestly,
You gotta do that.
I would do a whole plug if I had like a creator code, but unfortunately I stopped casting that game before they started doing that. Which is if you had Will talks about being a Guild Wars caster on your podcast bingo card, congratulations.
Yes.
But one thing that Guild Wars does with crowd control that I really, really think Destiny could use is, so it has a bunch of different ways that you lose control of your character, whether you get rooted in place, whether you get feared away, so you literally turn around and cannot control your character and you run in a straight line, or if you literally just get like the Guardian Hammer skill, which is like a fucking golf swing, you get yeeted across the map. If you have a boon applied to you, which is like a positive effect, called stability, I think it's called, then you do not get yeeted. You do not get yoked.
Okay. You get to stand your ground.
Yeah, and there's a shout called Stand Your Ground, a skill that gives you that. And if you use that while you're like tethered to the ground, for instance, you get that ability, and you no longer are in the effects of that crowd control. Destiny needs, like, if we're adding this crowd control, it's gonna feel real bad when you're in rebrand. It's going to feel real bad when you're in that grenade and you get stuck there, and there's just nothing you can do about it until someone decides to like walk over and shatter you.
Yeah.
So for every way there is to crowd control you, there needs to be a way that you can either prevent it or get out of it or get your teammate out of it, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's it's honestly going to quickly become a nuisance in Crucible. I
Mhm.
think unless you really get your head geared around playing with this way. Imagine someone instead of walking around the corner and you get either slide shotgunned or you get sniped or various other things. The warlocks charged thing. I forget the name of it at the moment where they kind of shoot out the the thing. I forget what it's called. It's on the Nova Warp ability. It's the charged melee for that.
It's the
Imagine just having to now worry like, oh, am I going to get
handheld
like
supernova.
handheld supernova? Imagine if I like be like, oh shit, now I have to worry about a grenade being chucked from anywhere that's going to like pin me in place so that they don't even need to get the snipe. That I imagine feeling the rage of when May freezes you in Overwatch and then you get frozen and then you get to watch the May player just kind of like stop, line up the shot, stand there for a second for your last few like moments of life going, oh, you're making sure that you get the headshot on me. I hate you so much. Like I imagine a lot more of that's going to now be happening in Destiny
Mhm.
as if we didn't already have a ton of like abilities that make you feel that like why is this happening kind of
On
things.
the flip side, though, big positive of stasis abilities is that wall grenade. You are now going to see something that you see only really in Valorant and CS:GO, which is you're
Mhm.
going to have specific nade spots on specific maps where
Yeah.
someone's going to line up their crosshair perfectly, throw their grenade, and then your sight line where you're hard scoped with Revoker because you're playing like 3v3 elimination playlist. Um, it's
Sunset.
gone. It's yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you now can't see the other team has a way to set up on site or set up on site, set up in an area on the map that is maybe round heavy or something that you don't have the ability to see where they went or if they even went there at all.
So yes, if that is the way that the meta develops, I'll be pleasantly surprised because that's ideal for me. I more think of it in terms of I've been spending a lot of time in the Crucible. I was chasing down my Luna's Howl, and I'm thinking to myself, how is this just going to get worse? Like, what are they going to throw at us that's going to make me more upset in Crucible?
So
Like, I just got over
mhm.
Top Streak Dawnblade and stupid heat rises and getting sniped across the map as soon as I cut left on backspawn on Rusted Lands, going, oh, he was in the building up over the top. Cool. All right, I'll just eat that one, even though I tried to slide under the little catwalk
Two
to go in
things.
there.
One, like the response to having snipe lanes cut off. I feel like the Destiny community is going to be like, yeah, just fuck it, ape with shotguns. No one ever uses snipers anymore.
Maybe.
Um,
Unless
but
unless that new sniper is really good.
yeah,
People love
it looks nice,
sniping in
but
Destiny. The one thing that you've got to not underestimate is that sniping in Destiny has always been its own little
it
mini
feels
community.
good. Yep.
It feels good. It feels better than sniping in like basically any other shooter, to be
But
honest with you.
but that shot we saw is exactly what you described about the May thing. Like the guy got frozen, the guy walked over with
Hmm.
a Dord, and then just
Yep.
lined up the no scope.
It's
Um,
furious.
but it makes me think of there was this map in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare that it was a
Cut.
DLC map that this is esports history. You gotta know your history. You gotta know your roots, guys.
Tell me
Um,
about esports, please.
so it was a snowfall map where like a ski resort, but the spawns were so bad that like you could jump up just straight up in the air and there was no inner accuracy penalty that you could
Yeah.
shoot someone with a sniper rifle in their spawn the second the game started, and in a mode where like search and destroy where you don't get your life back, that's an easy
Yeah.
pick right off the rip. Destiny doesn't have that problem right now, even with heat rises. So I think we should be a little like grateful that like you at least have to like run and find a spot to do heat rises.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's still it's still just a thing that I'm like thinking of. I'm like, well, if you're like, tell me about this. Like, if you're going to build everything around that, and that's going to be kind of like your strategy, what does that mean for the rest of the meta? And how is the meta like? Is the meta prepared to evolve around that? If it is, I'm all for it. But here's the thing: we don't even have. I still think we don't have a Crucible lead responsible for Destiny,
I think
just
you do.
as of yet.
You just don't know who it is.
Okay.
Like
I honestly hope so
so. Here's
because
why I think that.
it's concerning. You know.
Yeah. Uh, what can I say that won't bring an idea? So there's a game where I worked with developers on their esports program, and they had a PvP lead for a long time that was public facing, and then that guy left.
Okay.
So the person that replaced him, they did have a PvP lead, but they realized that, like with any game, the community is always going to rally towards that PvP guy when there's an imbalance and just flood their life with like, to use Destiny terms, like, bro, warlocks are fucking broken. Why are you on a vacation right now when you could be fixing hunters or titans? Like,
Yeah, no, of course.
So, I would say it would not surprise me if more than one studio is doing this as well, where they're just like, we're not going to tell you who's in charge of PvP balance, but like, because you've made these guys' lives living hells, but there's someone there, you know. I think that is most likely what we're seeing at Bungie.
I mean, yeah, I hope that it's being handled with care. I hope that it's being looked at. But again, just like my thoughts with it are, I'm now kind of just taking a cautious optimism, because the problem is that I wrote Crucible off for a long time in D1, specifically comp. I would always play sixes, you know, and just be like, fine, this is whatever. I still don't love D2's PvP the same way I love D1's PvP, but I was okay with it. And then like a month or so back, we started getting to trials, and I was like, all right, we finally have our trials team, being Yumi and Moose. We finally started getting into a rhythm, and that's something that I was missing from Destiny 2, which is the reason why I kind of steered away of comp, because I don't like doing it. It's harder for me to do it. Like, I have moments of brilliance in comp. Overall, I am not a Sherpa like I am for, PvE stuff and raids.
Right.
It is, I love playing it, and PvP is kind of like the little icing on the cake for me. Like, I always want PvP to be my favorite experience in a game. But I sort of like let that go, and I really dove into, teaching raids and stuff like that, and I've had a lot of fun with it. But with that said, just getting over the metas and the shift in the way that you have to play certain things has been good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been one of those things where you look at it and you go, I've been playing Destiny 2, say, let's just go to Destiny 2. I've been playing D2 since 2017, and this meta has been kind of changing and developing like all along the way, right? When you have a meta that's evolving, and you're looking at it and you're going, I'm okay with the way that this is for right now, but I really hope that something gets done about it. And then they just keep kind of throwing like wrenches in without actually solving the fundamental issues of it. It gets a little bit more demoralizing with each, release of content and stuff that comes out. It gets hard. It just gets hard to feel like the things that you as a community are talking about are getting noticed. And it's not like I'm not blaming a developer at all. Like, I know how hard it is to make a game. Like, it's got to be insane.
Right.
But it's one of those things where you're like, well, on the other side of that coin, I am a customer of this. They've preached a lot of this stuff about it, but like, we're still kind of like looking for a couple of things to fall into place.
Right.
I know, COVID has pushed a lot of stuff back. So it's one of those things where I'm totally understanding. I've got a lot of other games that I could play if I really want that PvP itch. But it's one thing too, where it's like, Destiny's my favorite game, and that I'm playing right now, and I know how good it can be, and I want to kind of have Destiny handle all that for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I see what's there. I see the potential. I want Destiny to kind of follow through and hit that for me. That's my thought on it.
Yeah. I just I'm not as disheartened, because I think that the fundamental problems that we see with Destiny, they're either like super hard to fix and not something that you can just do and do away with in one expansion. Like, it's a fundamental issue with how the game functions and has to evolve over time. Although an expansion is a good part to start solving in like, I guess Armor 2.0 is something that I'm thinking of, even though like we don't necessarily have the perfect armor system yet. There was a huge change to the way the game worked, but it was a gradual change to get in it. Like we can still use our Armor 1.0 stuff. That stuff's still in the game. So I'm hopeful that we'll see see the issues that we see in D2, which are like specifically for PvP. The problems are like roaming supers. Those aren't going to go anywhere. But the way that they function in PvP could change. The way the rate at which we get them in PvP could change. And like that's all either small tuning that they should do more often. Like the balance patches had not been happening for a long time, and we're slowly getting them more frequently now. But yeah.
It's just one of those things where I want it. I wanted to want it. Like I remember like Destiny 1, like every like weekend morning, I would just be like, I'm just gonna jump into some Crucible. I'm just gonna jump in and enjoy this. Like I don't even need bounties. I don't even need like anything. Like it just was, I don't know, it was just great. Like it was relaxing. The sixes were fun. Trials was sweaty. There was just a perfect mix of like a dichotomy of like activities and stuff to do, and the balance never felt egregious to me, like it is felt in Destiny 2. And part of that, to be honest with you, I blame on mouse and keyboard and the fact that we have double the frame rate that we had initially.
Yeah.
It's kind of we're really seeing these maps and how to push corners and the geometry and the verticality of the maps,
how to break land speed limits,
which I love. I love that stuff. But I think Destiny 2 wasn't necessarily ready for the meta that would develop around mouse and keyboard play. That might be it, honestly.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's been 3 years of mouse and keyboard though.
It has.
I'm 100% sure that there are people looking at this and being like, what are the ramifications of that? And I think that there are also some hard choices that they have to make between like, how do we make a system that doesn't cater exclusively to PC players and leave the console behind,
Right. Right.
So,
which we've seen mitigated by like attraction being something that like is required for console players to be able to get tighter turning. It's just something that like I think really there's an opportunity for it to work both ways. Even there's some instances where a controller works better. We've seen that even in games like Warzone and stuff like that, where it's just like it's kind of an advantage to play with a controller because COD initially was built for controllers.
Yep,
and it plays great on controllers. Like it feels excellent, but it also feels great on PC. And I don't mind the trade-off being less aim assist for freedom of movement. I think that's fine, and I really don't think that's that big of an issue. If you have a game that's really sorry, let me get this out. That like if there's a game that's really perfectly tuned around like mouse and keyboard play, like Counter-Strike or like your Valorants, you're not going to see them come to console anyway, and you're not going to see controller really matter that much. Although I'm not sure controller's impact on Valorant. I know controller is basically like a joke in Counter-Strike, so like you wouldn't use it. I don't know if
did you know the Counter-Strike Global Offensive launched on Xbox 360?
Really? What?
There was a it was a joke. Like no one played it.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Go launched on there. I thought it was always a Steam game.
It started Steam, but they did do a console version to see if it would.
I know there was original. The first time that I actually played Counter-Strike, like vanilla Counter-Strike, was on Xbox, like OG Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up a copy for it, and I was just like, "Huh, this is cool, but this is really hard to control." Buying guns sounds like a cool concept, like competitively, but I was like, "Man, it's probably better with a mouse." I just stopped playing it.
Yeah, like rented it or something. Again, the only game to nail it was Shadowrun.
Shadowrun. I gotta check this game out. You guys were both talking about it, so
it was on the MLG circuit back in the day.
Yeah, definitely intrigued by it.
Yeah. So I think we've wrapped up this reveal so far. Do you want to go through the changes on the TWAB? It's really not much today.
Yeah, I'll hit that up. I got these up, so let me do that whenever you're ready.
Yep, I have the TWAB up.
So going over this is kind of just light stuff that they wanted to announce, I guess, as their big drop. They gave us the link to the trailer for Shadowkey, or Shadowkey Beyond Light, early patch review. Basically saying something about sleeper nodes with the addition of the Destiny content vault details available. We're seeing many players returning to content in the earlier years. Some players are hunting triumphs, blah, blah, blah. And they're just kind of going to say when combining resonance stems, talking about override frequencies, just some stuff like some housekeeping stuff going on with Mars and the like. Some fixes and changes, an issue where player spawn would freeze in Gambit. I know that was like a big glitch that people were talking about. Issue with the ADS on Cold Denial Season Pass ornament was different than the base model. Big friggin' sad, dude. I get that it benefited players that were paying and who unlocked the pass, but like it sucks to see a better version of your ADS or your scope and then have it be reverted to the one that like people universally don't like, but also understandable, so it makes sense. Liking this too, Redrix will now be available to reclaim from collections. I know that was bugged
Hey,
for
we
a
got
while.
him, ladies and gentlemen. We did
Yeah,
it.
that's great pulse rifle. So glad that anybody that's earned it, that sharded it, didn't need to. This will be locked to the first overall rewarded when completing. This will be locked to the first. Okay, so they're just making sure that you know that you're getting the base roll of it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Spider will begin offering 3 weekly wanted adventures, up from 1. That's cool for helping people get through all the stuff that they need to for the triumphs and getting Wayfinder or Wayfarer. Sorry, and an issue that prevented the exotic perk from the Merciless. They fixed Merciless. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm so excited, but
about time.
This has been bugged since Shadowkeep, I think, right? Almost a year, I believe.
Yeah, I love Merciless. When that gun was a heavy, that was like one of the first exotic guns that I got as well.
That was the go-to for doing killing dogs. And, yeah, it was a great gun. I loved it. But yeah, literally that's it. They're talking about Solstice hotfix, and that's basically it.
Yeah, they got rid of these tapirs up in D1.
Hey, all right, cool. That was quick swab. I wasn't expecting much and figured it was just gonna be a soft recapper of what was going on.
So we got to end the show like we normally do. Clan affairs.
Affairs.
I would like to propose, because we haven't talked about this because we've been sort of just like mourning the loss of the lost episode.
We have.
I would like to nominate Dan Coffee Hazard for his second clan member of the week for getting me the Dropbox footage.
Hey, dude, Dan is like, we should name the bot Dan Bot so he can just like fight against
Dan Bot.
robotic Dan. I kind of wanted to do that.
All right, cool.
Bless.
So
all right.
that's in stone. It's been
Clan affairs are good.
Yes. All right.
On the pod is going to be Ixlac. We're going to talk about some RPG elements and stuff of Destiny. We missed yesterday's stream because we also were mourning the loss of our beloved lost episode. So Moose, I believe if you're in chat, remind everybody, are you going live tomorrow? I know that you're doing a double header and you're taking Will's spot on
No, we have D&D tomorrow.
That's right. You guys
take
have
that away from me.
All right, fine. All right, Saturday.
So Saturday is Moose instead of me. I'm a much better Crucible player. If you watched my stream last Saturday, sorry. Just sorry. That was rough.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. So that is happening Saturday. Sunday, are we doing Sunday Fun Day? Is it the off week?
We'll tweet about it. I'm not sure actually. We
Check
need
out
to
Caffeinds,
I think
GG.
it's happening. I think it's happening. Follow us on Twitter when it goes live and stuff like that.
Monday.
It's the off week. All right. Don't tweet at us. Tweet at us anyway. It's the off week.
Yeah, but if you're lonely on Sunday, what you can do is you can go to twitter.com/HeroGorgeous and just tell Peter that he should be live.
Just tell him what you're doing that day. Just tweet at him and just be like, hey, I'm doing this.
And
he'll respond.
Ask him for raid advice. He's actually an amazing raid Sherpa. He knows how to do every encounter. So if you need help with any raid, he actually told me before we went live that if you need any raid done, like completed,
doing carries.
Yeah, you just at him at Hero Gorgeous. He will drop what he's doing. He will get online and he will solo carry you to the end of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
So amazing things from at Hero Gorgeous, our very own Peter.
Big energy.
Big energy. So Monday night is Lucas playing comp.
He is back in it.
Tuesday is the reset.
Tuesday's reset day.
So,
You might see me playing a new game on Tuesday.
gross. Coming up down the pipeline, we have emotes coming to the channel. If you're not subbed,
Yes.
you should be. We
I'm
are
so
officially Twitch affiliates.
So good.
Check out our YouTube. If you search Caffeinds, all of our past episodes are there. If you'd like to listen to the show, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and wherever you can get major podcasts. We do want to give a thank you to Danfinity, who you can find at Danfinity, but the I's are actually lowercase L's.
The eyes are L's. I had no idea. Also, give Danfinity some love. We were talking to him. We, unfortunately, in the last episode, we asked him about how he got into Destiny. You'd not believe it. He really didn't play very much video games before Destiny. He rented it from his library, and he's that much of a legend that he Sherpas people through, and like he jumped straight in, like really no other MMO rating experience or anything. Just jumped into Destiny fresh and was like, I love this. And that's kind of like the tale that got him to where he is. So we are going to host him in a few.
I do want to keep. And I have some more shout outs on the Dan side. So he's got a podcast. He's got a podcast. He's on the Planet Destiny podcast, and he also has his own podcast, Side Quests. Check those out. And he's twitch.tv/Danfinity, which we are going to raid right now. In the pipeline for Caffeinds, as well as emotes, we have our Discord, which if you're looking for a group of people to join, there's no better place than to join us, and we will help you with whatever you need to do. We're a very welcoming community. We accept no hate and accept no substitutes for caffeine, no decaf stuff. So, guys, thank you for watching the Scuffed episode. We will send this over to Danfinity. Tell him that we sent you, that we love him, and that we're sorry that Will fucked up the episode.
Tell me he's muted. No, don't do that.
I clicked the raid button. We're going.
All right, beautiful.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.